welcome to this next episode of the BeLoved Miracles Couples Project. Today we are reaching from Norway to the United Kingdom, Liverpool specifically. Hi, Julie and Pauli.
Hey, Timothy, how are you? How are you doing?
Fantastic. Julie and Pauli are world-class experts at teaching entrepreneurs, coaches, trainers, and mentors the exact strategies to make more money more easily while enjoying a business and lifestyle built around one's top priorities. They firmly believe that one of the biggest benefits of running your own business is that it allows you the freedom and flexibility for what's most important to you. So Julie and Pauli, where does your story begin?
Wow, Timothy, where do we begin? It's a long one, but we're going to bring it very briefly. Paul and I met way back in Uganda. We were both bred in Uganda, and we met in school. So we're high school sweethearts, and we met again later in the workplace. So we were really meant to be. We met in the workplace, Paul as the engineer in charge of a project, and I as the legal advisor to the project, because my background is in law. So we were working on a World Bank project, and we met, and we reconnected. And to put it bluntly, everything happened very quickly thereafter. We got married within a year, and we had our first baby as well. And as things happened, Paul got a scholarship to come and do his PhD right here in Liverpool. And we thought, it's 3 years, it's gonna happen very quickly. We'll go, we'll see, we'll conquer, we'll come back. So we came to Liverpool, and life turned upside down. He went to school. I'm the stay-at-home mom from a court, suited up, booted up lawyer to I'm at home looking after the baby. And I'm not one to kind of do that. I'm not. So I found different ways to contribute to the family dynamics. And I looked hard, and it was hard at first because I couldn't get into the legal world. There are different systems, and that I respected. So I thought 3 years will fly by. Let's find what I like the most next, and that's building things. And that's one of the things as well that brought us together, Paul and I, because he's an engineer. My dad was an engineer. His dad is an engineer, and I almost went into engineering, but I'm just not cut out for mathematics. It's just not my forte. So I went into housing and construction, and I worked my way up while bringing up the little one, and then we had another baby, and the pregnancy was just hard. It was hard, and we had our son. He's a miracle. He's over there, and he's an amazing young man. But in all that, back home we have home help. It's part of life. You have home help, so you don't worry about children and bringing them up. In the UK, it's your job to either get somebody to manage and help you, or everything will have to be put on hold while the children grow up. So we found that a bit hard to kind of internalize. But it became part of our day-to-day, where Paul would drop me off to work and take the children to school. And in my day job, I'd get to work, and in the evening, I'd get back home, get changed, and go on for my other shift. I did 2 jobs. I was doing 2 jobs, so I barely saw Paul, and the children barely saw me. And it went on for over 6 years, because he finished his PhD, got offered a job, and we were like, we can't spit at this. If we go back home, he'll lose that experience, because international exposure is very important, especially where we come from. So we thought we'll take this and run with it and then see how it goes. And by that time, I was working a managerial job as a customer services manager in the housing and construction sector. But I wasn't there. My soul wasn't there, and I was missing family. I was missing my children growing up, and our marriage was strained because we were barely seeing each other. I would work weekends as well, So weekends are off, night shifts, day work. When do you see each other? Don't ask me. I don't know. But we are also very prayerful. We're very spiritual. We believe in a higher power working within us and around us. And we committed our life and our marriage and our plans to that higher power. And to us, that's God. So we knew there is something's going to happen, and there's a reason why we're here. And that reason can't be just to work and bring up children and do nothing, because we came with something already. We came with two professions that were already dynamic where we came from, and we knew we could do something with it. So I was sitting right here where I'm sitting right now, and I was thinking hard, and I was praying out loud, so to speak. I was saying something has to change. There must be more to life than just eat, drink, work, and sleep. I mean, that's what most people do, but I thought there must be more to it. And what's meant to be fun? And I projected a picture where I was enjoying what I was doing right here in my house, literally. And I knew that my background as a lawyer had to come in somehow and help with what I could do right here in my house. And it's like, when you're in tune with your spiritual self, you're open to the idea or an idea, anything coming up. So my sister-in-law sent me a message. Right that moment, my phone rang. And I thought, ooh, who's calling? And it was my sister-in-law. And she said, I want you to check something out. You're the lawyer of the family, and I've just got something that I don't know. I'm not sure. It might not be. Check it out for me. And I did. And when Paul came home, I was excited like a child. He said, I've never seen you this excited. What's going on? And I said, I think I've got something that I'm going to do that we can do at home. And he goes, okay, I'm listening. And I said, sit down here. I'm going to tell you about it. So I showed him. And he said, it sounds like it excites you. And if it excites you, it excites me. So.
Smart man, Paul.
Yeah.
Mama happy, house happy. That's my rule here.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So he said, but make sure that it is okay. I said, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do, actually. I'm supposed to check it out.
Due diligence.
For Grace, because that's her name. So I did my due diligence, and I found this system was something I wanted to add into our family system, and therefore expand our reach, not just our family and our little community, but something that is potentially global. And I remember that's what we were doing back home, because we were creating a system, water system for communities in Uganda. We were creating water systems in the rural areas. It was a water and sanitation project. That's what we worked on, and that's how we reconnected as adults. So I said, this is something similar to that. I'm very excited about it. So our journey, it had its ups and downs. It had its huge challenges on a personal level, huge challenges on a spiritual level. Just before that, the reason I was sat here asking God why, what I didn't ask why. I was like, how can I? And that is something that I've come to learn is the right question to ask. When you say, why is this happening to me? You're asking the wrong question. When you say, how can I change this? Give me a way, show me, you're asking the right question. So before that, we just lost our home. Complete, total Anaheim, total destruction. We had to move out. Everything, as in everything. We walked out with the suitcases. We each had a suitcase of clothes. That's what we were left with. And that was in 2010.
What forced you out of your home?
No, it was totally destroyed by water. Destroyed, complete destruction. Winter freeze, burst water pipe. It happens in the West, and we were not at home. We were on holiday. We went for a Christmas holiday, and while we were away, we had a burst pipe in our home, And our neighbor called us and said, I don't know, I don't want to tell you this, but I don't think you'll find your home. We can't get in. There's so much water coming out of your house, and we don't even know if it's safe because electricity, gas, everything. We just letting you know that yes, because we don't want you to come and find this, but we just have to let you know. So when we came home, everything was totally destroyed. The house had to be gutted, complete, total gutted. And we lived in one room, the four of us, for at least a month, 2 months, 2 months in one room. Mother, father, daughter, and son. We had to ask our children to go out so we could dress, and vice versa. We had to give them space so they could dress. It brought us back to the one thing that you don't need much to be happy. Because despite all that happening, we were happy. In fact, our son was like, I like this. We said, you don't want your room back? You don't want your own room? He said, well, I want my room back, but this is cozy. So to cut a long story short, you can be happy in any situation if only you know who you are, you know that you are able to overcome anything, and you know where you want to go.
Can you emphasize a little more of a system? It sounds like before this major transition out of your home, you had started to implement a system. What other things changed for you once you were actively working and building together with a system?
Okay, let me also clarify on that. I must say systems can be put in any different context. You can put a system in any context that you want. And there are several different, I can give several examples. For example, you can start with a water supply system. Water comes from somewhere, it is stored somewhere, and then it is supplied to everybody who uses it. That can be a system. A factory can be a system. You have all sorts of components being put together to produce, say, a car. That is a system in itself. Individuals have systems that make a livelihood, okay? And those could be, first of all, you take care of your well-being as an individual, so you've got the health, and then you can go and do something together to give you an income of some sort, and that can be a system in itself. Now, to come back to your question, after talking about different systems, you see that it can be disrupted by a certain event in your life. But the most important thing is, if a system is in equilibrium and it is disrupted, what you have to be aware of, that the components that form that system will shift to put that equilibrium back in place. As long as you are aware of that, and you're aware of this as just something that has happened as an event, it's how you get up and make things work again and get that system back in place that matters. So it's not how you fall, or it's not how events treat you, but it's how you respond to the events and you rise up above them to get things moving again. That's my...
So the change was actually the reestablishing of the equilibrium. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
can you go specifically into your story then? How did your equilibrium shift? And what did you do?
Fantastic. Now, the equilibrium, as you're trying to plan and put together all these things together to move yourselves forward, something that you least expect happens, an event in your life, a big event in your life, could disrupt you completely, divert your attention. When I talk about diverting your attention, this could be down to, some people get depressed when they're hit by such things. And what that does to you is it affects your health and takes you out of the system that you're building and putting together, and therefore disrupts the whole system completely. Now the question is, do you wish to be in that sorry state and put yourself out of this system that you're trying to build, or do you rise up against that and you say, no, I'm going to get out of this. I know we can make it work. I know we can do better than this, and say, this is not going to stop us. We are going to push forward. And that's exactly what we did. We pulled ourselves together, because one option would have been just sit down and start crying and be sorry for yourself. Okay, that's one option.
I did that.
The other option is get up. We need to get moving. Okay, we can't sit down and just start crying. That is not a solution. No. The solution is find something that works, put your energy and effort behind it, and go forward. And that's what we did. We took on what she found. We said, you know that you have this system. You can do it online, offline. It doesn't matter. We just need to pull ourselves together and keep on moving. And by putting energy behind that, not feeling sorry for yourself, you get back into making the system work. And that's exactly what we did. And that's a very important thing that most of us, when we are hit by something, everybody gets hit by an event in their lives. How do you respond? Do you feel sorry for yourself? And then therefore take so much time off that you cannot get back to that system of that you're trying to put together? Because we all put together systems that make our lives move forward. It's just that we don't contextualize it the way you're putting it. That equilibrium will be hit by something somewhere in life. And if everybody looks back in their life, you'll find that that has happened at some point. It's how you step up and put back that equilibrium, because for any system to work, it must be in equilibrium. That means all the components of the system must be working together to keep it moving. If you disrupt that system and take some components out of sync, okay, an event is an example, the system will get out of equilibrium and will cease to move forward. That's how I look at it.
Brilliant, brilliant. I love it. Big picture. Big picture application, but it really shows up in our smaller personal, like you said, health systems and equilibriums. Because systems are operating with other systems, right? They're not isolated. They begin to overlap and interact, and a single system has its own equilibrium to keep as it goes round and round, maybe, and then the others have to add to more and more balance, right? More and more harmony. Maybe music,
exactly,
like a symphony, right? Music seems to be one of the best examples I can think of when it all comes together.
Yes,
it's hard to describe, but we know it, right? We can feel it, we can hear it. It's brilliant the way you described it.
I like the example of music. An orchestra is a very good example. They take each of the individual instruments and the players of the instruments and they put them aside, and each of them practice something different. You know, the drummers, those on the flutes, they practice something different. Okay, but they're all aiming towards this big performance. At the end of all that, they all come together, and then one person stands in front of them, and the music that comes out of that is amazing. Different instruments, different things they're doing, but wonderful music. And that's a bigger system, as you would call it. So we had to call upon other colleagues to help us out. As you mentioned earlier on, you can't work in isolation and expect things to move. You need to work with other systems, as you put it, to make things move and go forward.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, before we started recording, we touched on something that I hope you guys will share, because I think this is where it applies. You'll have to tell me where the 4 C's, your 4 C's, could begin to make sense of systems and how to help systems work with other systems and so on and so on.
Okay.
Right. The 4 C's apply in any area of life, but specifically in the entrepreneurial sense. We know that, for instance, a doctor they may treat themselves, but they would never create anything that is worth speaking about if they never treated somebody else.
Okay.
An engineer builds something for other people. So in order to build something that's worth talking about, you have to bring rope in other people and be able to impact them in a positive way by sharing what you've got and asking them and asking them to share what they've got as well. And then you spread that out. So you work with your network and you also tap into their network and you spread that message. So you connect with people and you connect with systems and you connect with tools and resources and strategies and techniques to build that something that's going to change lives.
Introduce the 4
C's. And then you are going to communicate, because if you cannot communicate and you cannot share your vision and you cannot share your dream and you cannot share that system or that resource that you're using so other people can understand and actually see the same vision or walk the same journey as you, at least for a while, then you cannot create or collaborate. Because when you communicate and they actually catch the vision, you can create something beautiful. You can collaborate, you can discuss things, you can brainstorm, you can mastermind, you can share, you can hold events, you can conference, and you can sit down together, right? You can sit in the same room or online and literally create something that other people can actually tap into and use and change lives. And as you do that, the more people that you spread to, that goodness and your vision catches, you're crossing thresholds, you're crossing boundaries, you're breaking through, and you're literally touching people globally. So those are the 4 C's: connecting, communicating, creating and collaborating. Those 2 go together, and crossing thresholds. And in any business to work, any enterprise, any system to work, those have to be in place. They literally have to be in place. You have to communicate. You have to connect the T's, cross the C's, and do all those things with either people, systems, tools. You have to communicate. Things have to be able to work together in order for things to move forward. You have to collaborate and create something new from whatever you've got together. Whenever 2 people connect and they meet, and there's a meeting of souls, and your essence meets, something new is created. So you collaborate and create new things. And finally, as you're doing that, you're crossing thresholds. And there's one thing that happens as you do all those things. There's going to be challenges. Now that's the C that doesn't come into the 4 C's, but it exists. Challenges will exist, and they will come in. And the only way to understand the challenge is that it's something that I learned from Cooke. And he says every challenge is your upgrade waiting to happen. So if you look at every challenge that comes to you or through when you are doing something that is meant to bring your greatness out, you know you're on the right path to your upgrade. So you use that challenge as your stepping stone to your upgrade, and that's your breakthrough.
And that's where the threshold is crossed.
That's where the threshold is, because you are touching more people, and you're affecting more people in a great positive way, and you are living your divine purpose.
I mean, that's just like, that just solves all the world's problems. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds, I'm jesting like that's a joke, but actually it's not. I mean, it's not. What you guys just described can go from solving a water quality problem system to your home, your business. Look, we just met, right? I mean, I'm even thinking of what we're doing right here. And when I was listening to you, we're connecting, we're communicating, we're collaborating on sharing each other's stories. We are crossing a threshold just to come together. We'd never met or spoken before, and we're building a bridge from distances, Norway to the UK, across the Atlantic here. Right? It's like constantly in operation what we're doing. And I think I want to extend an invitation to anyone listening or watching to this right now as well. That if you spent this much time plugging into us, connecting with us, listening to the communication, you're part of it. You are also engaged in the system of whatever you're recognizing, whatever you're identifying here. And maybe, as Pauli said, it's disrupted. I know mine was, and that often drove me to actually seek out the connection with others, the communication with others, was the pain.
Yes.
Really, as you mentioned, right? The struggle, those pressures that you were going through again and again and again, in a mom, being in a foreign land, different cultures, and I'm sure languages too, and so on and so on and so on. Beautiful, guys. 4 C's kind of really solves the world's problems.
They do. They do.
Maybe we just need to get it out to enough people and actually help them implement a few baby steps, because I feel a momentum. I mean, I'm just speaking off the cuff here, but I feel a momentum in what we've just done in a few minutes that truly is that hopeful for anyone who is drawn to this and has an opportunity to listen to it.
Yes, absolutely. I hope so. I truly hope so. I pray so.
I think do this soon. Would you guys be willing to come together, let's say in the next month or so, and see what we can add in terms of another layer on this cake? Because I feel at this point we probably have come full circle in terms of introducing this to people. But I have a feeling people are going to have questions. They're going to be really interested to maybe have our help in understanding how those 4 C's are applying in their life circumstances right now. Because often we're too much in the thick of it. We can't see it so clearly for ourselves. So if we have people who gave us questions or wished to have further clarity on this, could we come back together again and go another layer on this?
I think we can. We can do that.
Yes,
we can do that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a service.
Before Easter, because just before Easter, we're going off to apply one of the systems of our lives, which is see more shows, see the world.
Brilliant, brilliant. Because I feel we've just started a service, and if we don't let people know who are listening to this right now that they can count on us. This isn't a one-shot deal. I mean, you know, this is your life. This is my life. This is what we do. It's our life's work. Would that be fair to say? I mean, you guys are living your life's work.
We are. Yeah. Absolutely.
So we're here to stay, and whether it's now or next year or 5 years from now, I'm pretty sure we'll still be available to whoever is watching and listening to this. We'll include some links so you have a way to connect with us. Ask any questions in the comments. And then, as I usually wrap these up, I use these words: together we overcome. Pauli and Julie, thank you, because I think we've actually demonstrated that much better than the words will ever be able to convey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. We
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate your enthusiasm, and we appreciate your life's work. It's an amazing job to take on that mandate, to impact lives in a positive way, and to share your story and other couples' stories to inspire other people.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful. It's been great catching up with you and connecting with you.
Thank you, Pauli and Julie. It's really precious. And story, I think that I'm glad you mentioned that just now, because anyone watching this, you have a story to share as well. And we will help you share that if you're not doing it already. We look forward in whatever way we can to help you realize that you have a gift to give. You have a story to tell that no one else on this planet can possibly tell for you. So get it out, right? So for now, we're going away to Liverpool. I'll be saying goodbye.
Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. God bless.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.